Hi everyone and welcome to TWF Rampage or Ram Crew. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and with Paulie Dangerously. And today on Rampage or Ram Crew, we're going to have Holy Fellow Nicholas, Father Yule, or Santa Claus here today. And I know that some folks are going to say that you should not shoot Santa Claus until after the 11th month, or at least until after Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Day or whatever you want to call it. But the TWF does Father Yule, as he is known in the 401 Kingdom and other lands. You know, we do them before any other skilled wrestling business does it. So you're going to get to see him through a month and a half. Well, let's not talk about, Tony Schiavone says, we'll see Father Yule here today on Rampage or Ram Crew. And we also know that hopefully Wonder Woman has put her war between her and Chris Jericho has come to an end. Well, I truly hope so, says Tony Schiavone. I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm looking forward to see how Father Yule's going to handle all this. Because yesterday he wanted TWF 24/7 winnings from Xia Li, but he was wise enough to give it back to her afterwards. Well, and we do know at the end of the day that we know it was Aleister Black who had helped Father Yule or Santa Claus or Holy Fellow Nicholas win the TWF 24/7 winnings. And now Paulie Dangerously said, here comes someone, says Paulie Dangerously. Now here comes someone now, Michael Cole says, it's always a creep year round. No need what holy day or holiday it is. No need if it's Thanksgiving or Yule or the Gathering of Lights or Gathering of Followership or any of those other ones. Michael Cole said, Gumford. Yeah, Gumford is never in a good mood unless he is scathing, sliding, and guilting someone. And now tell me, what is he gonna do? Tony Schiavone says, I don't know, Paulie Dangerously says, but I hope he does something to Father Yule here today. Here today, though. Paulie Dangerously says he beats him up, and then that would be and that's something that every skilled wrestling business has ever done. Hell, ECW did at least 2 times. With 911 and later on with the Blue World Order, Paulie Dangerously says. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Yule. It is I, Father Yule, or Santa Claus, which is just a Duchess borrowing off of Holy Fellow Nicholas, the gift giver. Now I know that a lot of folks out there have scathed me for having anything to do with Yule, Jesus' birthday, which comes up the next month. And I never had anything to do with Jesus' birthday. When I'm flying to all the land bodies, giving out the gifts, I'm doing it the same on look and thoughtfulness that God did when God gave Jesus to us as a gift. The same way that those wise men, if they were kings, we don't know, who went for years looking for the gifts for the chosen one, and then spending years getting those gifts, and then spending years seeking the chosen one. I do in the same thoughtfulness that they did. It's true that I'm doing it by flying reindeer in a sleigh, but the same mindset of giving a gift. God gave mankind and womankind a gift. It was Jesus, and those gifts that God and Jesus gave us was atonement from sin, having a stead in heaven after one's afterlife through Jesus and through God. Those were the gifts that we got. Now, I know it's not Yule yet. It's Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving coming up for one Reich's offshoot. But I just want to say there's a lot of folks out there that like to scathe Thanksgiving too and say, oh, well, we got Thanksgiving's a bad holy day in the settled land for one Reichs due to what the Englanders did to the firstborn folks of North Finland, which would be English, English North Finland, which became the settled land, which was the serb between settlings, which became the 4-1 settlings, which became the 4-1 Reichs. Yes, folks said and did things that were wrong to folks. We should always be thankful for, oh, great, isn't it Father Yule? I mean, you have nothing to do with anything. You are what's wrong with this wrestling business, with the skilled wrestling business, Santa Claus. Or as we like to call you, Father Yule. You are what's wrong with worship these days. You have nothing to do with Yule. That's Jesus' birthday. You have nothing to do with any holy days or holidays of any worship or any land. The only thing you do is bring shame to the skilled wrestling business. Every wrestling business has done it, was guilty of doing you. And it's overdone. Every year it would be MAW or WCW, WWF, WWE, ECW, TNA. Hell, it would have been MLW, OVW, GCW, AEW. You name every wrestling business, WCCW, USWA, MCW, whatever. SMW, UWF, whatever. They all done you. And it's so sad that you have shamed the skilled wrestling business. How did I, Gumver, shame the skilled wrestling business? Tell me, how did I do it? Why? By coming in and giving folks gifts? By making folks happy for Jesus' birthday, Yule? Look, I have no running lead over how many Santa Clauses or Father Yules that a wrestling business will do. Yes, Gumford, I know that this year WWE and OVW and AEW and hopefully TNA will do something with me this year. But you can't say that I scathed. You can't say that I scathed the skill. You can't say I shamed the skilled wrestling business by what I did. Yeah, I can. And I will say, you scathed, that you shamed the skilled wrestling business. And I need you to get out of this ring now, because you're not a wrestler. You're not a fighter. Before I beat you up, Father Yo. Oh, yeah. You gonna do that, Shrek says? Come on. Gumfer, are you gonna do something like that? Beat up on Santa Claus? Oh, come on. That's how low you go, Gumford. I know you're a bully, Shrek says. Big bad Walter, Gumver, whatever you want to call yourself, pissed off, irked, angered, wretched at Father Yule now. You come out here always behaving as if you are God's gift to skilled wrestling. behaving as if you take wrestling earnest, and that every other wrestler, fighter, overstar, whatever you want to call them, is doing it all wrong. Gunford, skilled wrestling, has its earnest and its fun slights. And Santa Claus is a fun slight. But then you got a double standard. It isn't about you being irked or angered or wretched at Father Yule. It's about you thinking that it's a double standard for you come out and you say you want onlook and you take the wrestling ring earnest and whatever. But you're going to bully Santa Claus? Not happening. Shrek, may I say that Gunver here or Walter here has the right to his thoughts or belief or takes, even if there's no truth to them. And that I do know that you will beat, I do know, Shrek, that you are going to put Gunver or Walter in his stead. And I want to wish everyone a happy Yule. Happy gathering of lights, happy gathering of followership. Hell, a happy Thanksgiving too. Well, Shrek standing up for Father Yule, and now I think we're going to have this match here today, and Gunford might be pissed off to learn that he's fighting Shrek, a drawling self from DreamWorks, the Shrek films. Well, he's also the Pennsylvania Right fighter, too. Don't forget that one, Michael Cole said. He did win the TWF Pennsylvania Right winnings. Yes, he did, Tony Schiavone says. And at the end of the day, Gunver, might think he's greater than that. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, Paulie dangerously says, Gunver is right about Father Yule. He's done nothing but besmirch the skilled wrestling business. And we really shouldn't have him anymore. Get off of it, Paul. Get off of it now, Paul. Get off of it now, Paul. Michael Cole said. He's an ECW did Father Yule at least 2 times. So don't say that you never did that before. Yeah. And I had 911 chokeslam him 1 year. I had the Bluebird Order beat him up 1 year. Well, Tony Schiavone says Gunver right now, or Walter, he's taking out Shrek right now. But how long will it be before Shrek gets the upper hand back on him? He does, Tony Schiavone says. A body slam, Michael Cole said another one. Shrek standing up to Gunford, who was bullying and guilting and shaming and slighting Father Yule for besmirching the skilled wrestling business. And Shrek, the TWF Pennsylvania Right fighter, taking down Gunford here. Which lets you know, Tony Schiavone said, that the TWF Pennsylvania Right winnings is not on stake here today. But I would think after this match it would be. And Gunford right now is in a bind right now with Shrek, Tony Schiavone said. Yeah, Shrek is what's wrong with the skilled wrestling business. He's a wrestling ogre for sobbing out loud. No way Gunford's going to take this earnest. He's going to see this as a slight, Paulie dangerously says. And how did Shrek become the Pennsylvania Right fighter is beyond me what he did. Oh, Shrek just went right in the ring steeple. Paulie dangerously says. Uh-oh, Gunford just did a mic slam on Shrek, Michael Cole says. Here it comes, Tony Schiavone says. Gunford is now Gunford, or Gunford, however you go by saying that name. Gunford, or Gunford, is now putting Shrek in the sleeper. And he's beat many wrestler, many of a fighter, many of a overstar, and that hole right there, Tony Schiavone says. Will Shrek give up? Will Shrek yield to Gunford's sleeper hold or not? He's a truly strong ogre, and it takes a lot to beat an ogre like Shrek, Michael Cole says. Yeah, I don't know, Paulie dangerously says. Shrek, he may be an ogre, but he doesn't got overman over man-like strength or might, so I don't think he's getting none of that. That's an inning. Here is your winner, Gumford. Gumver has beat Shrek here today on Rampage and Ramfru. And Shrek right now has another wrestler or fighter or overstar, whatever you want to call them, who is lost to the hands of Walter. Oh, well, Gumfer, formerly Gumfer, formerly Walter. And now Shrek right now, lost to him. But I still think that it was a good match that we had here today. I think Shrek and Walter, or Shrek or Gumper, did a good match here today, Michael Cole says. Me too, Tony Schiavone says. I mean, Shrek standing up for Father Yule, having a good wrestling match. Shrek did lose the match, but Shrek is still the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, Tony Schiavone says. That's right, Michael Cole said, because his winnings was not on stake here today. But most likely it will if Walter and if Gumfer or Shrek have another match. I know what, Paulie dangerously says, and I think it was cool that Gumford or Gumver, how he scathed and shamed and slighted Father Yule for having nothing to do with the Christendom holy day of Yule, how he has nothing to do with the Jewish holy day of the gathering of lights, how he has nothing to do with the black folk, holy day of the gathering of followership, and how he really has nothing to do with the holy day of Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Day, the 4-1 Reichstag. And I liked how Gumfer beat Shrek. Yeah, you would, Michael Cole says, because Gumford's a bully, Gumford's a creep, Gumford's a heel. Yeah, you would like that. You played the heel for most of your whole time in the skilled wrestling business, Michael Cole says, either in the AWA or either in MAW or WCW or ECW or WWF or WWE, Michael Cole says. You got that right, Tony Schiavone says. Paulie dangerously, whatever you want to call him, is always backed up heels because he's always played the heel his whole life, Tony Schiavone says. Take it away now, Renee Young. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Walter or Gumfer here today on Rampage or Ramfru. Alright, Walter, Gumfer, whatever you want to call yourself. Why did you start what you did? I'll tell you what I did it for, Renee Young. You want to know why I did it? Because Father Yule doesn't have anything to do with any holy day, any holiday of any land or worship. He also besmirches the skilled wrestling business, in the 12th month. And 2, Shrek, he's also another thing that I don't like about the skilled wrestling business. Too much sports glee bullshit. Shrek, he's an ogre. How did an ogre become a wrestler and become a fighter? Walter, in the toy wrestling gathering, there are many folks who are wrestlers and fighters. And some of them are man-like and woman-like, and some are not. And I think that if Shrek thinks he's such a great ogre and a great fighter and a great wrestler, why don't he put the Pennsylvania Reich winnings on stake? I bet you didn't know, but a lot of folks from Germish land, a lot of folks from Austria's land came to Pennsylvania when it was a settling of the 4-1 kingdom, before it became a settling, before it became the Reich of the 4-1 Reichs. Yes, Walter, I'm quite aware of that. I know that. So Shrek, you put your TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings on stake, and I'll beat you and bring some onlooking class to that strap. Well, That's my talk with Gumford or Gumver. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Renee Young, for talking with Gumver here today on Rampage or Ram Crew. And that's all the time we got here for Rampage or Ram Crew. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Paulie Dangerously. We hope you like Rampage or Ram Crew, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.